What's going on, YouTube? You're watching Steel City MotoVlogs. I'm Derek T, your host, and today it is Wednesday, Hump Day, August 17th in the Steel City. It's a nice day. It's about 80 degrees outside, but all that oppressive humidity is not there. Makes it a beautiful day to be out. I'm actually on my way home from work. Had a couple sessions and some clerical stuff to do. It's a pretty easy going day, but I don't think I chose the right time of day to be trying to go home from downtown Pittsburgh. So hopefully I can get around some of the rush hour. It doesn't treat me too bad, hopefully. Hey, I want to show you all this clip real quick, and then I want to ask a question. So y'all check this out real quick. All right, and I'm back. That should have given you enough time to get me out of traffic and enough time to watch the clip. So in my mind, there's a lot to unpack here. Now, first of all, let me start off by saying you'll never find me teaching a motorcycle safety course. All right, that's just not my lane. All right, Robert Simmons, Rich from Boots and Jeans Riders, MC Rider, there's a bunch of them out there. Dan the fireman, even, you know, he does a lot of safety stuff and more like along the lines of first aid stuff too, in the event that the unthinkable happens. However, you're not going to find me running in that lane. I don't consider myself to be the safest or the most reckless rider in the world. I like to believe that I'm moderately conservative, if that makes any sense. But I see a lot of these kind of video clips, and I don't really like putting out videos, you know, of people getting hurt and everything else, and blooper reels and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, motorcycle crashes. I don't like seeing people get hurt. But my first question is always, how does a rider find themselves in this kind of a situation where, you know, you've taken a turn too wide? Okay, we've all done that at one point or another during our varied motorcycle riding careers. We've all taken a bend a little wider than we would have liked to have taken it. But my question is, when you realize that you've taken a bend too wide, doesn't it make sense to get off of the throttle? I'm not saying slam on the brakes and make a bad situation worse. You might not have to slam on your brakes in order to correct something, but, you know, sometimes just getting off the throttle will immediately slow your bike down. And then if you pull the clutch, that's going to slow you down even more. Then you can decide how much braking you need to do to get out of a particular situation. But if you've gone as far as to jump the curb because you've taken the curve too wide, the bend too wide, why are you still on the throttle, dude? And then you've got a passenger on the back too, and that's another thing. It's like you gotta be thinking about more than yourself when you're riding two up. I don't ride two up very often. And actually, I think one of the reasons why I don't ride two up very often is because I think of the person who would be on the back, and I'm not sure how much responsibility I'm willing to claim for somebody else riding with me. I think, you know, I'm old enough to make that choice for myself, but I don't want to be responsible for another life that way. So you've got a person bouncing around on the back because you won't get off the throttle. And then finally, you know, the girl falls off, and hopefully she didn't get too hurt. But the one thing that I noticed was that dude brought that bike to a complete stop and put his kickstand down before he ran back to check on his passenger. You know, so my question is, how much do you love your bike? You know, when I think about the wide range of emotions that I've experienced with mine, you know, I went through a season where I was having to put my bike in the shop and get work done to it, and, you know, a lot of self-inflicted wounds when I was learning how to do things. And I know at one point my bike was in the shop for what was about maybe 4 or 5 days. I didn't even want to lay eyes on my garage. I kept my car parked outside. I didn't even go in the garage because I knew that when I go in the garage, I was supposed to be able to see my bike, and it wasn't there. That was how much I love my bike. I've had other times where, as a matter of fact, I joke with my brother about this all the time because, you know, he's into doing DIY projects on his bike and everything else. And like during the winter time, when you can't ride up here, it's nothing for his bike to be in a garage and be in 1,000 pieces for weeks at a time. Now, that would bother me to no end, knowing that my bike is sitting in the garage in pieces. Even though I know I might be working at something, it might be a process, I'm trying to get that process done within, you know, 2-3 days at the maximum. You know, usually when I have a project in mind, I gather everything that I need for it before I start taking the bike apart, and I make sure that I don't take my bike apart until I know for certain I have enough time to start and finish the project, because I don't want my bike sitting in pieces. That would drive me nuts, because I like to step out of my garage and see my bike in one piece. This dude clearly loved his bike more than he loved his passenger, though, because he wasn't going to drop that bike for nothing. He made sure that he put that kickstand down. Now, it was probably on soft grass. I imagine the bike probably fell over anyway. You know, if you watch the whole, I've never seen the whole video, but I imagine you can't leave your bike sitting where he left it and it not fall over at some point. But you know, clearly the passenger was an afterthought, because in my mind, if the passenger was number one, that would have had you letting off the throttle, pulling your clutch, and determining how much braking is actually necessary in order for you to correct yourself in that bend. Like I said, I'm no motorcycle safety instructor, but I know when I see things starting to go left just a little bit, you know, I'm quick to make whatever corrections I need to make. And that doesn't include staying on the throttle. You know, it doesn't mean slam on the brakes either. But man, dude, don't keep full throttle in your mistake. That's just some thoughts from me on a situation like that. But I mean, I get it. I love my bike too. But I think if somebody were hurt or injured, I think I would go see about them first. You know what I mean? The bike would have to be secondary. But then again, that might just be, I guess you don't really know until you're actually in that situation. God forbid I'm ever in that kind of situation. But dude made his stance loud and clear. He made his position known. His actions definitely spoke louder than any words that he might be able to say. So I'm sure he's got some explaining to do on a lot of levels. But how much do you love your bike? How much do you love your bike? Drop a comment and And let's talk about that for a minute. This one's going to be a relatively short one today. Like I said, it's just my ride home from work. I'm passing through the University of Pittsburgh and Carnegie Mellon University right now. I decided to come this way just because the rush hour traffic outside of the tunnel was going to be horrendous. So, but I'll be home in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It shouldn't take too long from where I'm at. So I'm going to get going. You're watching Steel City MotoVlogs. I'm Derek T. Until the next adventure, you all take care and be safe out there. Pretty please be safe out there.